All right. It was a quick intro, but here we are.
What's up, Internet?
Somebody's at the house. The dogs are going crazy. This is not going to end soon. So everybody bear with us.
Do you have
What
a
is up?
loaded firearm?
I do.
This is someone who's nearby. We need to...
It's not
Couple of
somebody I
things off
need to
the
shoot.
list.
It is not somebody I
Well,
need
they
to
don't
shoot.
know that.
Oh,
Need to, want to. What's the
Oops.
difference?
oops, sorry.
Oh. Right.
All right, man. So we're diving right in. It's August 30th. I'm Chris,
I'm Charlie.
and we are...
Eight ballin'. Yeah. Look at that. I didn't even look at it, and it came. It was the right way.
It's oriented. Orientation. Cool, man.
Bam. What? That way.
I'm a little overexposed.
Yeah.
I decided to play with a setting. So
That's okay.
per your text, I'm going to at least start in deference to you and your passion.
You're going to defer to me. Good. That's how I like it. Also, on another note, I do have a new prop. It says, it's a whiskey glass. It says family on it. Family,
Cool.
Detroit. Anyway, that's from my boss, but I can't explain where. Anyway, and I think that's important. Family is important, especially these times. Stuff like that. I think it's good to always stick around. But I digress. Now, I texted Chris earlier. I said, hey, we're going to talk about some controversial shit. So bring your D game or C game as opposed to A game, because usually we talk about controversial stuff anyway. So what I wanted to kind of talk about was the Kyle Rittenhouse shootings in Kenosha. The Kenosha shootings. Ooh. And I'll just start right off with they're totally justified. I have no qualms whatsoever with saying that he was totally within his legal right to kill those two people and shoot the third. So, based on what
you're
what I'm aware
talking the
of,
rifleman.
Yeah, the rifle guy, not the pistol guy. That's Jacob Blake, the guy that got killed.
Yeah.
Did he deserve to die? No, he did not deserve to die. I was going to say probably not, but I'll just give it a firm no. But if cops are telling you to not do something, especially in a time like we're in right now, and you reach in your car for something,
Okay, let's not go
an
there.
unknown item.
Let's not go there. Because not
We'll go
listening to
somewhere
a cop on the street does not warrant a death sentence.
That's what I said. Wait, did I not start by saying he didn't deserve to die?
Yeah, but if you say but, if a cop says something...
Okay, so he didn't deserve to die, and it's not a good time for that, especially based on what's going on, especially like in Kenosha what happened. So
yeah.
Kyle Rittenhouse, 17-year-old kid, killed two and injured a third with a rifle, an AR-15, one of those scary assault weapons. And basically kind of my perception of the event occurring is as follows. So Rittenhouse is there with a couple of people who are there to protect property, right? And
So he
there's
says.
a different
So
group
he
of
says.
people. So he says, right? He might have been there for an excuse to kill people. I don't know, but
He might have been.
He might have been, but I'm not going to jump to conclusions on that.
But that's a reason. That's a valid part of the conversation.
Totally, yeah, it is.
Why'd you go down?
And
Why'd you go
and
down
he had a
there
gun,
with
so
Yeah, why'd you go down there with a gun?
right, he
Right.
had a gun. So
Because do we know what
now
his
here is-
relationship is to property owners down there? Because that's relevant too.
no, but I only know he lived. I know he lived 30 minutes away. It wasn't like everyone says he crossed state lines. He crossed state lines. It was a half hour from his house. I can drive any direction that I go for 30 minutes is at least within the bounds of like the boundaries of Michigan. I like that. I don't have an issue with that. That's a different discussion to say if he crossed state lines versus murder one, intentional
that's
murder.
irrelevant. But to me, the point is,
Yeah, right.
did he have a vested interest in the property there?
And I don't even think it matters because
It
listen to me.
does.
Listen to this.
Okay.
I disagree. So if I have a rifle, which the Constitution of Michigan, I don't know, the whatever you would call it, but the Michigan Constitution grants me the right to bear arms openly and, you know, without concealing them, no matter what, as long as I'm 18 years old and I don't have any exclusionary restrictions within the law. I can just walk around town with an assault rifle. As long as I don't brandish it, I can walk around town scot-free with an assault rifle slung over my back. So the simple act of carrying a rifle, holding it, just literally holding it, or being somewhere with that does not warrant an assault. So do you see what I'm saying? So while I have a legal right to possess and bear firearms in public, because I have that right afforded to me, it doesn't necessarily give you the right to attack me because I do that. So you can't just be like, that guy's a gun. What the fuck? And, excuse me. This guy essentially gets attacked for just that. He has a gun and he's somewhere. And he is a place, he's carrying a firearm, loaded firearm. That's not illegal. And you can't attack somebody for that. And essentially what happened, I think the result of the shootings was he was attacked and he had a gun. Luckily, he was just defending himself. I think the first two guys that he killed, I'm not going to say had it coming, but should have predicted that as an outcome. That is why guns exist. If you're going to break into somebody's house, if I own a gun and I put that NRA sticker on my front door, hopefully there is a chance that they won't break in, and then they're not going to say, I was just breaking in to steal something. That guy shot and killed me or whatever. It's like, that's not fair. You can't, that's not a valid defense. So, bodily harm is bad always, no matter what the situation is, but sometimes it's warranted and justified if you are the one initiating force. That's the end of my spiel.
Okay. If you take the situation in a bubble, yeah, I don't disagree. And I saw some footage, but in a bubble. I saw some footage, I don't know if you saw this, that before shots were fired from his gun, there was another handgun discharged. Did you know that?
Possessed by one of the people who ended up attacking
Yes.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. So I didn't. That's semi-new news. So until
Yeah, yes, it is.
today, I was not so much on his side, and I'm still not on his side. But now, I believe he had more reasonable fear. The thing is, I don't know, and you don't know, that he didn't go there looking for trouble. You know, it's kind of like the George Zimmerman thing. You know, that guy he didn't need to do what he did. You know, we don't need 17-year-olds walking around with rifles in a city where there's trouble. It's a recipe for disaster. And that's what happened.
I agree with you that it is a recipe for disaster. I also stand by my statement that because I'm going to put myself in his shoes. If for whatever reason, let's just say it was something near us, I don't even know what I would care about so much. The local high school, I don't know, whatever. Let's go say that there's you see on social media, bam, there's going to be a huge, let's say, protest. And these days we know that protest essentially means we're going to burn shit down, and the cops aren't going to do anything. So a bunch of my buddies I just so happen to be connected with on social media say, hey, we're going to go there. We all have guns. We're just going to stand around there and say, hey, this is not going to happen. Because anybody who sees us, anybody in their right mind who sees us standing there with rifles is going to say, oh, this is a recipe for disaster. We're not going to intervene. So my point is, if I'm the guy with the rifle, I'm not doing anything wrong by going somewhere and standing with it. Now, if I brandish it, that's potentially wrong or potentially illegal. Um, I'm not necessarily going there to cause trouble. I might expect trouble. I might anticipate it, but I'm not there saying, "Hey, I'm the one initiating force on somebody else." Um, I, I don't think that it's a good precedent to start um, saying that those people are in the wrong just by doing that.
So, a couple of things though. You just mentioned defending something in which you have interest, right?
Yeah.
We don't know that this guy had any interest. If he said, "Look, these riots piss me off. I'm getting my gun and I'm going there." That was a bad idea. He went looking for trouble. And there's an argument to be made that because brandishing a weapon is pretty subjective and has. So I would argue that he was brandishing a weapon because it wasn't like over his shoulder. He was holding it. He was holding it in a manner where his hand was on the trigger and in a ready position, and he was walking. To me, that's brandishing. I'm ready for battle here. It wasn't in a case. It wasn't over his shoulder. He did not have that weapon in a passive position. He had it in a ready, and he was mobile. He was in a fighting position. That was not passive.
I'm not passive versus non-passive. It doesn't necessarily play into the equation in my mind. But
it does in terms of what's legally brandishing. But it does in terms of what's legally brandishing.
Correct.
So he's holding that thing and he's walking down the street. He was brandishing a weapon.
No. The law defines brandishing as holding it in a threatening manner in the direction of a human being. You have to be actually pointing it at somebody.
No, it does not have to be pointed at somebody. It does not. It does not.
I don't
it's just a threatening manner.
That's the case.
It's just a threatening manner. And again, he was holding it ready. He was walking. But I think the kid was looking for trouble. Now, I
don't know.
That having been said, the transgression of events of somebody else, it's so gray, it's charcoal. The whole thing.
It's briquette.
Right? It needs to go to court. Everything needs to go to court. That's part of the problem with everything that's going on. Just this total disregard for due process. Right? We're going to go throw bricks through windows. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to light shit on fire. It's okay. No. It's not justified. Those are crimes. And you should be arrested and tried for crimes. Cops tried for crimes. The thing is, everybody should be afforded due process. As fucked up as shit is, that's why this place works. And we have Bedlam right now, and it's a problem. But yeah, I mean, that kid, in terms of, he wound up, I would say there's definitely an argument that he wound up in a position where he was defending himself. Right? Somebody else shot a gun. I also saw footage, but it's weird because you don't get anybody's sincere, complete story. So what I saw this morning that I hadn't seen before was the other firearm going off, right? So he may have had cause for, the fear of his life. And then somebody somebody kicked him. At which point he went down, and I'm pretty sure he fired the weapon while he was kind of down on his ass after having been kicked down. The whole thing is we just got people who are not behaving wisely, right? And they're all young, and they're all passionate, and they're all just misdirected. I think.
Now that I don't have a problem agreeing with. I think that that's an accurate way to state what's going on right now in the country. I am so strongly in favor of this guy, and not even this kid in general. Maybe he even went a step too far just by going to that place by doing this. But I believe that it's the right for me to be able to go and do something like that, similar to that situation. And let's say that it doesn't matter to me what the piece of property is in question, whatever the case is. Even if I stand on my front porch with a firearm, it just so happens to be an angry mob walking down the street doing whatever. You cannot attack me just for holding a firearm. And let's pretend right now that I don't have a harness and I'm just holding it like this, right? That's not brandishing. I'm not pointing the weapon at you. I'm not saying, fuck you, you see this, you fuckers? I have a gun right here. It's just holding it. So if I'm not legally allowed to hold it just without, in a passive manner, then what's the point? But if I'm doing that and somebody attacks me, I would like to think and assume that the proper way that would go down is that I'm justified in defending myself, which is what that kid did. He killed those two guys. By the way, 3 for 3, not too bad. And he blew that other guy's arm off because that guy had a fucking gun. So whether or not he was looking for trouble, whether or not he had an interest in the actual defense of property, you cannot and you should expect. I'm sorry, you cannot attack somebody for having a firearm, and you should expect lethal force and retaliation if you do so. That is what people should know, and you should expect it.
If he went there looking for trouble, it's felony murder because there was a foreseeable chain of events.
Okay, I can see how that plays out. Sure.
So, yeah, if
now,
there's trouble,
I believe
if there's
what
trouble
happened
in
was
River
that
City,
he's part of a group.
If there's trouble in River City and you drive there and you take a gun, as a matter of principle, there's
a flood coming.
It's not gonna. Nothing good's gonna come of it.
Here's the way that I understand it.
If you say my uncle owns a store, and my family has guns, and I got my buddies, and we went and we sat in front of the store with our guns, I'm like, absolutely. There's a vested interest in protecting property. Showing up to be a peacemaker because you have some delusion of grandeur, not a good idea. That's
now,
what
the way
I
that
think.
I understand is that
he's
sure.
17,
yeah,
man.
That's fine.
He's fucking 17, and he showed up with a gun.
And and the way that he handled himself, I gotta say, impressive. First of all,
I would not say the way he handled himself. If you're just saying marksmanship, sure.
Yes,
His
marksmanship was impressive.
He's an effective felony murderer, potentially.
Correct. Yes, and that's the joke. But the way that I understand is that he was part of a group, and then the group said, "Hey, we as a group are going to go down here to do this because this is what we do." It's not like he's saying, "Oh, we're looking for." Now, the group doesn't exist to kill people, right? They exist to.
But then why was he walking down the street?
Saying militia.
Why was he walking down the street? Was he?
Which street?
I saw him
I don't think
walking
you
down
saw everything.
a street.
Several times, yes.
So what was he protecting?
Videos that exist.
I believe he was looking for trouble.
I can't even speak on that because you're speaking to somebody's subconscious intention, or not even you're speaking to somebody's intention. And
it's my opinion.
You're appealing to intent is a fallacy. Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, but you're presuming
it's going to end up nowhere.
Yeah, but you're saying he wasn't effectively.
I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm saying I can't speak to that.
I can't speak
like when you're a jury and you
say,
say, "Hey, we have to say this guy intended to do this." You're like, "Hey, you can't speak on that." Like that's not. You have to leave that out of the equation in this instance. I'm not even saying that you have to. I'm just saying that is what I do. I don't know what the kid is doing. I'm not going to pretend to know what he was doing. Otherwise, I'd be lying to myself and to our 3 viewers that that we would know what was going on. But I,
Hey, be
I don't know
careful.
what he was. I don't know what he was doing.
Hey, be careful. We could piss off a couple of people tonight.
Sorry, literally a couple, literally 2. We might piss off Brian. My point. I'm just saying. Hey, here are the facts that I'm aware of, and based on the facts, I like to think that if I had a gun and I'm in a similar situation, that no one is going to try to fucking kill me, which is what happened to that kid. Somebody threw a Molotov cocktail at him. That guy got shot in the fucking head. Dead. Right? That's definitely a deadly weapon. No problem with that. Second guy hit him in the head with a skateboard. Hit him with a skateboard while he was on the ground. That guy died too. The third guy had a pistol on him, had his hands up. He didn't get shot when he had his hands up. He only got shot when he went for his gun and rushed the kid. At that point, he shot his fucking arm, and that's when in that video you see his arm turn into a red mist. Which is what happens with a rifle like that at close range. But all 3 of those are justified when you look at him on their face. Now, whether or not he crossed state lines with a firearm or he wasn't 18 years old, he's not allowed to have a firearm based on Kenosha state or Wisconsin state law. I don't know. I can't speak on that. That's a court thing.
To me, those are semantics. For me, the biggest question is, did he go there looking for trouble? That's the biggest question to me. And if he didn't, then there's a different set of questions, and your line of thinking
let's go down those
is more makes more sense to me. There's no way to know. Like I said in the beginning, I believe he went there looking for trouble. I believe George Zimmerman was overzealous in being a fucking wannabe cop, and bad shit happened. I think the two are very like in kind in terms of the outcome. People died because, youngsters just got overzealous and they had firearms, and now people are dead. 30 minutes away. Like I said, if his uncle or brother-in-law or dad or family business was there, and he was sitting there with his gun, even brandishing it, saying, "This is our fucking business. Stay away." He's protecting specific property with an interest in something. My opinion is way different. And you know my opinion on guns, right? My arsenal in this home has gotten bigger since things
just over the course of this show
started devolving. This weekend.
Yeah.
Right? I'm all for people owning firearms in the interest of self-defense and defending property. I'm just not sure that happened. To me, this one's highly questionable. Like the couple.
And let me.
So, wait, hang on. The couple in St. Louis, where the protesters, were on a private road, and they allegedly didn't damage the gate, or there's a question as to who damaged the gate. And that guy was holding that gun, and he was holding that gun in as passive a manner as possible. And the fact that that gun was taken from him, that scares me. That makes me really nervous. Right? His wife, on the other hand, pointed the gun at the people and was like, "Get the fuck off our property." So she was pretty aggressive and
direct.
But
yes,
he was afforded no due process. They took his gun, and he got charged with a crime. And I think those people were scared. I think they were scared.
Okay, so let me backtrack for a second.
Okay.
First of all, I'm the lady in that case. I'm fucking pointing that gun in front of my property. You're not. There's no question there. And I believe Michigan even you're allowed. There's castle doctrine, so I think you're allowed to do that. Now, the next thing is not for Kyle, the kid with the rifle, but for the people who are protesting. The reason that I have no sympathy in this case is because, like you mentioned, youngsters. Youngsters who are making bad decisions. I'm a youngster. You can call me that. I think I'm probably younger than most of the guys who got shot. There's no situation where I am where they are. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter who I'm talking to. Doesn't matter whatever the hell it is. There's no situation where I'm going to do what they were planning on doing, based on their intentions.
Wait.
Also, I'm not going to do what Kyle did. Wouldn't be
Who?
there either.
The
kid,
protesters?
the
Well,
rioters,
we don't know
yes,
what their
protesters,
intentions were.
rioters.
They were in the same place that
Doesn't matter.
they were in
Doesn't
the
matter.
same place
If-
Kyle was,
if
though.
you're- My point
So-
is that I wouldn't be there either way. If I was part of a militia or if I was part of a protest group,
Oh,
I wouldn't be there. I would not put myself in that situation because I'm smarter than that. Because I know that shit is happening. You have to be able to predict these outcomes. And if you're a human being, you have to say, hey, no one is, by the way, putting a gun to my head before I go there. Both of those people are putting themselves in harm's way by being there.
no doubt. No doubt.
Correct. Yeah. That's
So-
all I'm saying is that it's a dangerous situation. You cannot.
Yeah, if you go down there and whatever you're protesting for or against, whatever you're, even to observe, even to say, I want to go there and catch really cool cell phone video, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, as a reporter.
You're putting yourself in harm's way.
Yes.
Right? If you're a legitimate reporter, literally, I'm a reporter. This is what I do. I have to put myself in harm's way. I couldn't call myself a professional journalist if I didn't do it. That's different. Like Geraldo Rivera in, what was the first
I don't
war,
remember.
shock and awe in Iraq.
Yeah.
That's one thing. To say, I own a smartphone. I'm a reporter. I'm going to Kenosha to show the truth. And who knows what may happen.
Catch a bullet.
Well,
Yeah.
Then reap what you sow. So
That even
I'm
more perfectly illustrates my point. That is an even better example of what I'm trying to say here. So my point with that, so if we can agree on that, now that implies that at least one of the two entities was looking for trouble, right? Because if there's danger that's implied, and there's aggression, this is going on. If you're legally afforded the right to carry a firearm, and there's stuff like that going on, I have no moral issue. Not legal. I have no moral issue with what happened and that kid being there, despite the fact that I would not be there because I know what would happen. Now, he might have assumed what was going to happen, or he might have assumed that, hey, maybe people are smarter than I think, and because I'm holding this gun, because I have this thing, this isn't going to happen, which is the point of owning them, by the way. That's the whole point, is that
Yeah.
by having them, it's kind of a deterrent.
So, can I
Now-
interrupt you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your position that you have no moral qualm with what unfolded.
Yeah.
I get that. And that's a personal opinion. And
Yes, it is.
it is what it is. I don't disagree with it. I mean, there's nothing to disagree with. It's your opinion. So I get it.
Yeah, it's
And it's not without logic or merit. Here's the
I
thing.
tried.
So everybody there, I think all of them were probably looking for trouble of sorts. However you might define it. Right? Here's a few things. If you go there with a powerful rifle, you're probably looking for a certain type of trouble that's pretty fucking destructive in nature. The other thing is, so you said you're young, right? You're 23. You consider yourself young. Think of yourself at 17.
Fucking idiot. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm probably a fucking idiot right
So
now.
a fucking idiot
Yeah.
went down there with a gun that fires. It's not an assault weapon, people, just so you know. But it is a semi-automatic weapon that fires, arguably the most destructive bullet money can buy. So,
For value.
What-
For the value. For the dog.
okay, fair enough.
It's yes, it's a
Yeah,
logical
people aren't going to
purchase.
understand what
It's a
you're
good
talking
value
about. But
buy.
anyway,
Yeah.
it's just the degree to which that recipe, bakes a disastrous pie is quite high.